events. Well, 1986, like most years before it, has 12 months. Correspondent Eric Wilens is here to enlighten you with 12 predictions. That's one for each month, if you haven't figured that out yet. Eric?
Thanks, Ron. These are my predictions for 1986, starting with January, the first month of the year. In January, rock star Bruce Springsteen will die a terrible death as he chokes on a chicken nugget shaped like the continent of Africa while visiting his hometown in Pennsylvania. And in February, the television world will be stunned by the accidental death of Miami Vice star Philip Michael Thomas. It will happen during the first ever live shooting of the hit television show Miami Vice. In the live episode, seen by over 3 million viewers, Tubbs, played by Philip Michael Thomas, will be killed accidentally by beating himself 23 times with an aluminum baseball bat. NBC will then quickly replace him with actor Richard Pryor in an attempt to save the ratings. And in March, Steven Spielberg, director of E.T., Jaws, and of course Back to the Future, and many more, will release the biggest blockbuster of all time. It will be the third and final film in the Indiana Jones trilogy and is entitled Indiana Jones and the Lotus Altar. The movie stars Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, who battles a 30-foot grasshopper with polio. It is expected that this film will gross over $300 million next year. In April, it will be discovered that wrestling superstar Hulk Hogan is really a Russian spy who has been brainwashing America's children. No action is taken against Hulk Hogan because all the federal agents are afraid of having their heads torn off and eaten by the wrestling monster. And in May, tennis star John McEnroe's girlfriend, Tatum O'Neal, will give birth to a 6.5-pound Wilson tennis racket. In a Manitou interview, we will discover that McEnroe is very upset because he wanted an Adidas. And in June, rock idol Prince will change his plans to marry girlfriend Susanna Melvoin. He will then shock the world by announcing that he has fallen in love with Dr. Ruth Westheimer and plans on marrying her in the fall. In July, probably the most influential event of next year, the cast of Family Ties and The Cosby Show will be held hostage by terrorists as their plane flies to New York for an NBC Bob Hope Independence Day special. The NBC hostage crisis will continue for 5 days, with the terrorists demanding that The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, be taken off the air. We at Manitou Media News will get an incredible telephone interview with the terrorists in which we will discover that the terrorists are sick of Carson. The NBC hostage crisis will then come to a climax as Michael J. Fox is shot and killed by the least conservative of the terrorists. Then Bill Cosby, using his brains, whatever he has left, will trick the terrorists into surrendering by using chocolate Jell-O pops. And in August, a sad note, Joan Rivers will die in a tragic fire at the age of 62. The tragic fire will start as Mrs. Rivers attempts to clean her gas stove with a blowtorch. She will be rushed to a nearby hospital where it will be reported that her last words were, "Can we talk?" And in September, nothing exciting or interesting will happen. In October, the sports world will be shocked as the New York Mets beat the Cleveland Indians 4-1 in the World Series. And Dick Clark will decide to run for the presidency in 1988. In November, NBC will re-air the popular Miami Vice episode in which Philip Michael Thomas accidentally beats himself to death with an aluminum baseball bat because of the enormous popular demand. And finishing up 1986, in December, 100 stars will be in Hollywood at the premiere of Sylvester Stallone's latest movie, Rocky V. Sylvester Stallone stars as Rocky Balboa, meets his greatest challenge yet by battling Vietnam War hero John Rambo. It is sure to be the most interesting of all the Rocky films. And that's 1986, a pretty tragic year this year coming up.
It sounds pretty tragic. A lot of bad news there,
Terrible
including
news.
A Rocky V movie, which I consider bad news.
Yes.
But I suppose a lot of people will like it.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure who wins. I would pick Rocky, though.
Yeah, Rocky usually wins. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Good predictions, and thank